Hey, Erika, Dennis again. Hey, so here's that video that I said I'd do for you. I'm going to start out with the estimating just so you can show this to your estimators, but let me open this up. So this is just a sample item. This is some sewer main, sanitary sewer we're going to put in. Uh, Up here, you would either use our electronic takeoff. We have on-screen takeoff tools that we can populate this with, or I can just type in 500 feet for this case, and I'll just hit recalculate so we see real numbers. And so what this does is there's a tab back here that says, hey, what's the production rate for this job? In this case, I said we can do 85 feet an hour. So it uses these formulas, which are usually hidden so people can't change them, but it just tells me I need, in this case, I'm going to need 15 hours of that. I'm going to need 88 hours of for this, and whatever, 88 hours for this. And so it kind of can make those calculations probably like you are in Excel, and then extends them out times the prices for this job, whether it's prevailing wage or private. You can actually override those rates. And then allows you to put overhead and profit. In this case, I'm just showing a profit rate. And it comes up with the bid price. And so in this item, at the very bottom, it says the current grid. My cost for this item is 14,000, almost 15, and my price that I would want to bid would be 20,500 and some odd dollars. The reason for doing it in here, and you can do it, continue to do it in Excel if that's what you want to do, and we can just copy and paste in the budget. But once I identify these items as being the vendors that I wanted to use, I have the ability to automatically create, whether it be a purchase order or a subcontract, automatically once we get this job awarded. So all of those things that you do afterwards kind of become automatic and done via mouse clicks rather than manual effort in front of a word processor, in front of Word or something like that. Anyway, that's that. This would give me the budget for these cost code, whether it's labor, equipment. That feeds right into the accounting budget. So that's what we would balance our actuals against. And in this case, I've got 13 different bid items, and so they all could work the same. Some could, I don't know how complicated, some of these are about the same. Anyway, that's kind of that in a nutshell. We can get into more of that if the estimators want to take a look at it. The next thing that is particular to Heavy Highway people would be our equipment management module. And in there, we actually set up pieces of equipment that you own. And I just happen to pick this one because I have a lot of data on this one. So this is just a little loader. And you can see we track serial number, license number, last location it was, miles or hours, reading when we bought it. On the accounting side, if it's being depreciated, what account does the depreciation go to? And if we're got interest on our lease or loan, where the interest expense goes to. And then if you are leasing or do have loans on the equipment, you can set that up under the loan details, and this will automatically schedule your payments and accounts payable for you each month so that you don't miss them. We have the ability to make these available out of service under repair. Here's, depreciation balance, beginning loan balance, current loan balance, what have you. This is kind of a complicated deal, but it's very useful. It allows you to enter in some fixed cost and values for the equipment, along with, and this is the guess here, the number of hours that you estimate that the jobs will actually pay for that piece of equipment to be on the job. These numbers in the far right, your equipment guy can come up with these. They usually come out of the handbooks that come with the piece of equipment. But at this point, I can tell you, based on using this piece of equipment, utilizing it for 510 hours, based on these cost of ownership, these are kind of fixed costs, plus these variable costs for operating it, I can tell you that it cost me $71.13 to operate it, and when it's just sitting still, sitting in the yard, or sitting on the job site, it's going to cost me almost $13. So once we figure out what those are, and you can guess at it to get the system going, this is what we're charging the job. Every hour it works, it gets billed 85 bucks. If they're sitting on the job in idle mode, they get billed $20. So why do I do that? Because I get now a cost history of every repair made to the piece of equipment, including the mechanic's time with his burden. We can do that. Then I can also tell you this is all of the revenue that's been billed to the jobs that it's collected. And so obviously you have more than one piece of equipment, so you would rather probably look at it in this way. And let me just get this equipment management report here. And I'm just going to pull this one up real quick. So for a piece of equipment, and I can do these by types. I can just say, hey, just give me all my loaders in one report, all my scrapers in one, give me all my water trucks in another one. But this is all the equipment that we own, just a few pieces. This is how we bill it out, whether it be by days, hours, or miles. This is how many units. This is how many. Let's just go to the number 3 here. This is how many hours the job has been billed. 899 hours. This is the total cost for operating that piece of equipment. This is the total revenue that that piece of equipment's accumulated. And so I can tell you with certainty that this piece of equipment is making me $18.67 every hour it works, compared to this one down here that loses $7.93 for every hour it works. So, and again, anywhere in here I can drill back to the cost. I'm going to show you that in another area that makes more sense. But if I want to see how I spent this $5,600, I just double click this. I'll just show you. It happened to be a startup entry, but if there was detail there, it would show each of the line items that were used to prepare that piece of equipment. So those are 2 things that are outside of the what I would call quote unquote accounting systems, but we do that. In addition, and we'll get to accounting in a second. Let me just pull this up. We also do this. I assume that you're using Microsoft Project. If not, it does come with its own scheduling package for its jobs. So now, moving up, we got project management. So all the things that happen on a job: setting up the job, subcontractors, purchase orders, change orders, RFIs, submittals, transmittals, all of that's handled in our project management module. In addition, a lot of our clients use this. It's called a daily field report. And all you're doing here is somebody in the field will dial into the system, or we can do it on the tablets. Up to you. Today is the day I worked, the job that I actually worked on, which person is actually reporting the time, and then very simply, who worked, what item of work did they work on, and is it regular time, overtime, or premium, and if it's a prevailing wage job, what pay group were they functioning in today to get paid, and how many hours did they actually work. In addition to that, we also report the equipment like we were talking about. This is the equipment that was on the job site. This is what it was operated, and this is what it was on standby. If there were subs out there, these are the subs that work. So it becomes almost like your diary or your logbook, except that we're not collecting it in one place so everybody can see it. If there were meetings, what did we meet on? Did we have a job walkthrough? Was it a safety meeting? But you can have lots of notes on each one of those. Once this is done, these hours here can actually populate the time card in Payroll, so that we don't have to re-enter payroll. So the payroll is actually being entered on a daily basis by the superintendent to the correct job, to the correct cost code, and to the correct pay group. And this will just actually flow right into the payroll module. And so that does not have to be rekeyed. So there's that. And here, I'm going to show you just a couple of reports that I think make sense for people to have. This is one of our clients' favorites. And let me just pull up a job real quick. This happens to be a small little concrete job. But these are the items of work that we budgeted. These are the hours that we budgeted, and these are the hours that have been processed through payroll so far. And so on this first line, all it's saying is that we've used 53% of the hours, but in actuality, we're actually 65% complete on this item, and I'm going to make this one a bad item. We're only 20% complete. And so these can be done weekly or monthly, depends on the size of the project. You can put these in here. And when we do that, it now tells me, am I going to be over budget or under budget for each of these line items? And in the very far right-hand corner at the bottom, how many hours I'm going to be over or under on this project, and when it's all said and done, based on the percent completes that we have as of this minute. So, great tool for project managers to use. The great thing is they can't do anything other than enter in here. This information really doesn't go anywhere, so it's not impacting accounting or financials. It's more for them to have a picture and see how well they are doing against the target. So that's one. This is my favorite, only because my background was heavy highway for many, many years. So let me just go find the job here. So all these items ought to look familiar to you. It's a little different look. So again, instead of hours, we're looking at total budgeted cost that the estimator came up with, and some number of units. So it's either 24 fence post install or 24 or 150 cubic yards of removal. I don't care. As long as you can measure the quantity, you can enter estimated quantity, and then this is the cost to date. This is what's run through payroll, accounts payable, equipment cost. And then you're going to just ask the guys in the field at the end of the week on their last time card is how many units do you have complete? And we'll just say on site work, of the 150 cubic yards, I've got 115 of them done. You'll see what happens now is in this column, I estimated $80.50. It's actually costing me $82.51, so I'm over. I have that many left. That's what it's going to cost to finish them. And whoops, missed a click. That's how much I'm going to be over budget for that line item on that job and as of today or this week. And so this is great to use during a job to get kind of some feedback, but this is really important as the job is completed, and especially on this line item, that the project manager and the estimator kind of sit down and figure out what happened here, because the estimator thought it was going to cost $86 and it wound up costing us $138. And so no finger pointing, not one person was right or one person was wrong, but something changed from the day we bid the job to the day we completed the job. And so this report right here is really useful to look at when the jobs are complete to find out what happened and what we can do to make that job better. So let me just go in here real quick. One of the things that our clients absolutely love is this one screen right here. And all I did was click this hard hat. So I want to go back to a job. I can look them up alphabetically, numerically, but I just know this one has data on it, so I use this. This is the job, but here's the part that they actually love. If you look at the very bottom, I can look at the budget for this job. How many hours did I estimate? What was my material budget for each of those line items? I can look at every purchase order ever written on this job. I can look at every subcontract, every change order, every invoice, and every payment. And right here, here's a change order. If I don't remember exactly why we did this change order, I can double click that. And I now have access to this here. If I go to, give me 1 second, I'm going to go to number 17 here. So this is a change order that I've done. If you look at the top right-hand corner, you'll see a little white paper clip. That means there's something attached here. And that's a really nice thing in Sage 100, is that we have the ability to attach any kind of document. It could be a JPEG, a PDF, an Excel document, a Word, we don't care. If it's electronic, we can attach it. Email. But now anybody that was to open up this change order could see all of the emails that exchanged hands based on this change order, could see a copy of the new plans, could see an actual signed copy of the change order. Whatever you want to scan in and attach, we have the ability to do it any one screen as long as there's a paperclip there. And I don't think there's a screen that doesn't have it. There may be, I just haven't found it yet. So that's jobs. And again, accounting is accounting. We track insurance certificates for subs. We do prevailing wage. We do union reporting. We do workers' comp reporting. Full financials in several different formats. Payroll, actually, your company's a good size, actually has, it comes with an HR, I call it a mini HR module, but it's useful. It comes with about 70 predefined forms. They're in Word, so you can change it. So here's our address change form that we have employees fill out. Here's our COBRA election, COBRA enrollment, confidential data, direct deposit order. So all these forms are already in here. And if I need to print one out for Bob, in this case, Bob Barker to sign, I just say for this employee, and it will fill all of his contact information into it for him to sign. And it's like I said, 70 different forms. Employee termination, employment verification. In addition, you have the ability to build packages. So here's a package I made for pre-hires, new hires, probation package, and the termination packet. So all of the forms are associated with that. I just hit that button, print them all off, have them signed, hand them to the employee. But now everything is being done, totally legally and with lots of documentation on what we were doing. So I said 15 minutes. I am almost out of time. And again, it's just meant to give you an idea of what's included with the system. This is what we offer. Very easy, as you can see. These desktops can be modified. So if I am an AP person, my screen looks like that. If I'm a payroll person, my screen looks like that. And I can edit this. So if this person was only entering payroll, then these boxes would not be on their desktop. So when they signed in, they wouldn't even, these would not be there. Only these three would be. So all customizable, makes it real simple for project people, owners, and accounting staff to get used to it. Anyway, if you like what you see, call me. We can get you on the schedule for another demo and see if we can help you out. Anyway, I appreciate your time. Phone number, if you need me, is 800-659-5851. And lastly, our website is CFO, like Chief Financial Officer, CFOOTG.net. There's probably another 100 plus videos, almost 150 videos similar to this out there if you want to see more. Thanks.